And here today we have our French Country 6x8 chunky album. Has this really fun closure here on it with the ties, and we'll talk about this a little bit later. I'm going to go through and give you a quick overview of the project, and then we'll pick up some of the details. We've got a burlap sleeve here that holds a couple of the photos, a flap. The paper is just really beautiful, this whole collection. In this album you have one each of all of the papers. Now this is a flap and with a pocket for a recipe, but it also has a pocket here for a CD holder, so you can actually slip your CDs down in here if you have a lot of pictures or a lot of information that you want to store there on the CD. You have another pocket that we've made some tags for, another flap, another flap. This particular album is just really full of a lot of flaps. Flap, and another one. Another pocket, notes, and our flap. That is then our 6x8 chunky album with the French Country from Graphics 45. Now just a couple little things now. I'm going to go into some details here. When you want to put on this enclosure, actually just folded the burlap in half and stuck the brads through there. Did not really punch through the chipboard binder to put the brads in. Just used some really heavy-duty epoxy glue to glue this down. Same with these brads are not going through the chipboard album. They are just put through the burlap, tucked under the edges so that it won't fray, and then spread the prongs of the brad apart, and then put some either red line tape or epoxy on that. Let's see. Another tricky thing on this then, okay, this is like a CD envelope. What we did is Margaret folded the flap back over that, and then that's what creates the pocket in there is available. So you've got your CD pocket that way. Now all these flaps, we put them in, you've got the cardstock in the kit, and we show you how to cut and score the flaps. Then they're actually adhered onto this base page before we put the base paper on. And that's the same way with all of the flaps we create in the kit. As we show you in the cutting guide, the size you're cutting your cardstock, you're going to score it a 1/2 inch. Then that little tab is attached onto this base page, creating that flap. And these flaps, they seem, even though they're out of paper, they are extremely durable. These samples get handled at a lot of scrapbook expos and CK conventions and here in the showroom, and the paper really holds up to a lot of abuse. And again, the same thing with all the flaps, where we create them. There's just a couple of, and then on this here, we just took our grosgrain ribbon, tied a knot through it, pulled it through the eyelet there. And the same on the back for the same closure. There is our 6x8 chunky album.